Thanks everyone for being here. Today I want to talk about why C++ wins in finance. Why almost everybody in the market uses this language. And there's a couple of reasons, but instead of that, let's address one normal situation. What happens on a day-to-day to everyone? Take this number, for example, totally made up. Lawyers happens, and this is a number that I just came up with. You have 30 microseconds to do a trade. Something comes in your pipeline. You have 2 micros to just decide what to do. You check your risk for 5 macros, and then sure, you want to hit it, so you have another 3 macros. You're hitting a market in Chicago, so approximately 6,000 kilometers, speed of light, 20 nanos. So that's your budget, 30. If you miss by 10 nanos, someone else gets the fill, you get zilch, and you start either losing money or not making money. And this is what happens daily, billions and billions of times. And it's not about your average speed, and no, this is the 99.9. This is like your worst thing. This is how you need to deal all the time, constantly. And there are very few languages that can give this to you. And one constant is that in those situations, the choice of computing language is not academic. It's not an experiment. It is practical and it has to work all the time. And that is why most people go to C++. But with this thing, there are a lot of things that we like about C++. We have, first of all, it's a language that gives you control and abstraction at the same time. And that is a great feature. And everybody has struggled with other languages that have garbage control and whatnot. And the worst thing that can happen is that at, 11, after some economic number release, you get a garbage collect of 5 milliseconds in the middle of the hot path, and you lose millions and millions of dollars. So having absolutely no garbage control, no garbage collection is great. But then you have memory layout, because one of the things that C++ gives you is full control over your cache lines, over NUMA cores, you name it, you have it all. So not only you have control over your execution path, you have full control and visibility of your data path. But then you want to talk to the kernel, but you don't want to ask permission to the OS. You want to go directly to your network cards. You want to say, hey, I want to talk to my NIC directly. You can also do that. And there's no OS that you need to beg, give me permission to do this. And last but not least, you have very predictable code gen. You're not going to have suddenly one JIT telling you, well, I need to reevaluate what your hot path is doing. And here you go, this is a new code. No, whatever you compile, whatever you get is what's going to run every single time. Predictable, 100% of the time. And these are all great features that we have had in C++ for many years. And we got complacent. We got complacent because we learned that with C++, it was more important to put the how than the what. We started handcrafting for loops and go-tos in our code and loop unrollings and things that were really scientific, if you will, DUF devices, whatnot. But then something happened. C++ started to learn. C++ started to evolve in a way where not only you need to say what you mean what you say. Each generation has done the same thing, which is a feature of the language. You start transforming manual behavior and you make it into a language feature. Take concepts, for example. We used to have all this obscure template machinery, all this Spine nonsense where we just had unconstrained templates and we just begged for mercy every time we coded them. And now we have very clear behavior and intent in our type system, and we know precisely what we're dealing with. And this was for C++ 20, but then we had, in 2023, we started getting ranges. And ranges gave us something amazing, which is that we're no longer doing for loops. Now we're doing transformations iteratively over a very wide variety of ranges of data. So now we control more of the why rather than the how. And now for 26, we're going to get std execution, where the same thing is going to happen for async operations, where we're going to start pipelining and controlling not only our async pipelines, but we're going to control also how we're canceling. Errors are going to be part of the type system, if you will. And this is awesome. I think that this is something that is fundamental to C++. But one of the things that we still haven't addressed until now, and that's my segue into execution, is concurrency. Concurrency was always left at the mercy of the gods of like networking and threading and whatnot. And we all have seen experts that for many years had their own recipes for this. Throw a couple of threads here, a couple of mutexes, a lot of queues. Now we have lock-free queues, so everything is a lock-free queue. And this gave us a lot of very complex situations, like races under very bursty load when suddenly there's an increasing volume, cancels that were left behind hundreds of thousands of orders, or the typical machine bouncing a process at 3 in the morning, suddenly there's a deadlock and you get a call and you need to connect to the system and try to fix it manually, and you end up just nuking the process and starting a new one, which is terrible. And the worst thing is the overall, oh, I'm gonna hope for the best. This is my strategy for like increasing like load. We no longer have that. Now we can start pipelining our processes, as you can see here, and start controlling where, how, why, and more importantly, what happens when we want to cancel or we want to stop. Everything is integrated. And fundamentally, this is part of the overall trajectory of C++ as a language. We started getting rid of the loop and rolling code, even though you can still do it if you want, because we realized that the compiler does it better for me. We stopped doing all these finite tricks that we used to like because we had nothing better. And we went to a place where concepts express clearly our requirements. With ranges, we stopped doing our for loops, and now we see that this is better. We have data transformation. It's clear. We just tell the system what we want to achieve, not how to do it. And all this ad hoc nonsense machinery for threading and pipelines and whatnot, that is gone with structured concurrency. So the language, if we need to put into 2 sentences what it does, it's telling us to stop coding the mechanics and start expressing intent. Because C++ is not just the best language for what we do. Today, it's the best language for the foreseeable future. I think that every single generation of the language, every single version gives us better tools and a better way to have more fun coding and less fun suffering. It's the nature of the beast.
If you want to stay ahead in your tech career, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Perfology on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Let's grow and optimize together.